Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name's Emma Lefebvre, and today we are going to be painting October's watercolor floral bouquet. So let's jump right in and start. Okay, so today we are going to be painting our October watercolor bouquet. We do this monthly and I am excited because October is my favorite month and I love the fall, so we are going to make a beautiful fall bouquet. Okay, so I'm thinking I want to go for more oranges and reds and then maybe like a sage kind of green. Not quite sure. I do wing it most of the time, so we are going to see how this goes. There are a couple of colors in my palette that I might be using that you may not have. So one of them, I have swatches right here. I have brown madder, which is this nice kind of rusty orange. If you don't have a color like this, you can use an orange color, add some burnt umber to it, like a brown, and you'll get something similar. I have this perylene maroon, which is also kind of similar. You could just add some burnt umber to a red. Yellow ochre, I love. You could always add a little bit of purple, like dioxazine purple, to your cadmium yellow, just a little bit, and you'll get a nice yellow ochre color. And then this perylene violet, I really love. You can just mix some dark purple with some red, maybe a little bit of green to mute it, and you'll get this beautiful purple. So I'm going to kind of look at these colors and just kind of play off of them, but I might not stick to this color palette completely. I'm thinking of maybe doing a different kind of green too. So let's just play and see what we can come up with. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I think I want to do like a dahlia color, like an orangish kind of dahlia. So I have like yellow and orange mixed in here. I don't even know what color it is. And I'm just going to water it down. And I usually don't do dahlias because I find them a little tricky, but I'm going to show you how I would approach it. So I'm not going to do it right in the center of the bouquet. I'm going to have it slightly over, and I'm just going to do these little kind of almost teardrop marks just with the shape of my brush. And they don't, like if you need to turn your page, go for it. They don't need to be perfect, okay? So I'm just going to do these little marks going around. And you're leaving little bits of white space, and you're not staggering them perfectly neatly or in a certain direction. You're just kind of going around in a circle and creating these marks, leaving little bits of white space, but make sure to leave not too much white space, but not too little white space. I'm just using the tip of my brush just to kind of go over those little bits just to make sure that they are nice and wet. And now I'm going to use the tip of my brush this way. Let's just try it this way. Okay, going around. Again, turn your paper if you need to. I know some people have a hard time with whatever hand they're painting with, trying to just like maneuver their brush around the paper. Turn your paper if you need to. Okay, we're just kind of doing this flower that just looks like almost like a sun. It's not a sunflower, but... And I don't have too much white space. There's actually not really much white space over here. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with some darker color, some darker orange. So I'm actually going to use my brown madder color like this. And I'm going to go into the center and tap it and then just go a little bit around to get a little bit of a color bleed like that. And I might go back in again in the center. I'm going to add a little bit of burnt umber, a little bit more brown madder, just make it nice and dark towards the center, like that. Okay, so there is our kind of orange dahlia. Now I want to do like, kind of like, I don't even know, some sort of, not a Cosmo, but I don't know. We're just going to take this red color. Probably my perylene maroon. So again, just adding some brown to your red if you need to. And I'm just going to do a tall petal here. One coming out this way. C curve that way, C curve this way, and then some like shorter, fatter petals here. And it can bleed into your dahlia a bit too. I should have done it a little bit closer. And I might go back in with a little bit more color, just making it a little bit deeper towards the center, like that. And then I think I'm going to grab maybe my darker purple for a bit of the center too. I'm going to make that darker later, but I can do a little bit of a bleed in there like that. Okay. Then I think I'm going to do maybe, I want to do like a darker purpley rose, I think, or something. So I'm going to take my perylene violet. So if you wanted to add like your red and your purple together, I'm going to do a rose with this color. So squiggly little middle with the tip of your brush, and then some shorter C curves around. And then they're going to gradually get bigger. And I'm going to have them bleed into the previous flowers. And I'm just moving it around like so. This is a bigger flower. I'm going to grab a bit more color and just deepen it towards the center like that. All right, already enjoying that color palette. Okay, so now I feel like I want to add a little bit of this orange over here, so I might do like another kind of cosmo-y thing like that, flower like that, thing like that, but make it smaller, just in a different kind of orangey kind of color. Just smaller, just to kind of balance it out a bit. And it can bleed into the rose here. You can go back in with some darker color, like that, like so. Okay. And then, okay, then I think I'm going to add in some greenery. So for my green, I'm thinking of kind of like a, not a sage green, but like a eucalyptus-y kind of green to balance it out. So I'm going to grab some Hooker's Green Dark and a bit of purple to get this grayish green. I'm going to add a little bit of blue in there, like so. And I'm going to create like a eucalyptus coming from here, I think. I'm just going to take some of that color off and do these rounded kind of petals or leaves. Do some darker. Here, I'm going to make some darker here. And just tap some of that darker color in there, like that. I think I'm going to do one up here too. These rounded leaf petal thingies. You can have some of them like a little bit flatter, like it's a side view, like that. Grab a little bit more color. Like that. Right there. And then I am going to put one more down here, but I feel like we need another flower over here. So I might grab this just to balance it out a bit. This kind of brown matter, orangish color, and do another one over here. So I'm going to have the petals facing this way. I feel like it could be a bit more orangey. Like that. Again, you can always turn your paper if you need to. I should have, but I didn't. It's all good. Like so. And then I'm going to have another eucalyptus piece coming out that way. So usually when you're working with a floral composition, odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye than even numbers. So like having the eucalyptus in threes, 1, 2, 3, is a lot nicer to look at than like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just, I don't know why, it's just the way it kind of works. Grab a little bit of blue. Gonna make it a little bit darker. Have it bleed into that. Lighten it up. And also using the contrast in the same leaves, so having some light eucalyptus and some dark eucalyptus leaves kind of also makes it really interesting to look at. Okay, so there we go. And now I feel like we need some like sprigs of something, like some berries and smaller flowers. I don't know. Ooh, maybe some like wheat or something. So I think I'm gonna grab just a little bit of this olive green, make it a bit more on the brown side, and maybe just do some smaller leaves too, just to fill it in, make it a little bit more full. And then we can go in with a bit darker of a green and just kind of tap the stem of the leaves just to get a little bit of darkness in there, like that. Okay, so quickly here, I noticed that there's a bit of a bloom at the bottom of that rose that I wasn't too fond of, and that happened because of that little orange Cosmo right underneath it. It was a bit more wet than the rose in that part, and it started bleeding into it, and it created this kind of weird mark that I wasn't too fond of. So I went back over it with the color, and now I'm just trying to wet up all the surrounding areas so it will blend in nicely. And this is a way to fix these issues, which they happen to me all the time. You can see here I'm blending it out with the Cosmos so it's not such a harsh line. I'm just gently adding a little bit of color and just blending it out, because watercolor wants to move wherever there's water. So that's where it was going, and there was no more water there because it was dry on the other side. So we needed to add more water so the color would flow and bleed into it and blend nicely. So that is what I'm doing here, and that's a quick explanation of how to fix these issues. Okay, I think I'm going to take this like purpley red color and maybe do some like berries or something. And I'm just going to do some dark like that. Just have them in little clusters. Some down here. Then I'm going to just take my smaller brush, my size 6. I'm going to dab it in my burnt umber and just drag some little sticks, kind of connect them. Then I'm just going to grab a little bit of green and I'm just going to do some greenery on these. like so. Okay, so now I feel like we need a bit more browns and a bit more like oranges and yellows or something. So I'm gonna grab some cadmium orange, and I think I'm gonna do just some like little buds of some sort. Nothing specific, just kind of little pops of color. Just to get some more orange in there, maybe some over here. Maybe I'll add like a tiny bit of green. Actually, I'll do that with I'm gonna grab some olive green. I'll do a little stem, have it bleed into the bud just a little bit. When you do a bouquet, not everything has to be, you know, exact. It doesn't have to represent an actual flower that you need to keep in mind. Just have fun with it and just paint and make something beautiful. Like that, and then I feel like we might need some darker leaves in here somewhere. So I'm gonna grab my Hooker's green, a little bit of dark purple, and I'm gonna do some kind of like purpley, bigger leaf shapes. Just making it darker towards the base. I'm doing one over here. Like that. Again, just grabbing a little bit more purple to get this grayish green. Bring some of this over here. And then some over here. Like that. And then finally, I think I'm gonna add some brown, like kind of wheat or something. So I'm just gonna take my burnt umber, my size 6 brush, and I'm just gonna start doing some you can hear my son crying downstairs. We just had to wake him up from his nap because it's time to go pick up Big Brother at school. You do these tiny little sprigs like that. And I feel like that gives it a bit more of a fallish vibe. And then lastly, these two little flowers need centers. I think I'm going to go darker with them. I'm just going to grab some of that like darker purple mix and just do some dots in the center. Like that. And like that. And there we go. There is our October fall bouquet. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell to get notified every time one of my new videos comes out, and make sure to check the description below for all the other platforms where you can find tons more. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.